Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to start doing a budget deck tech series for you all today and just kind of give you different heroes that you can buy into for a cheaper price point. A lot of discussion around Flesh and Blood right now is how much it costs to get into the game. And I'm here to prove that you can actually, with a decent amount of heroes, spend less than $100 and basically get like 80% of the actual competitive deck, 90%, and then just buy the power pieces when you need to. So we're obviously going to start today with Katsu, the one we should be starting with, and kind of get into it. So if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel and you're new to Flesh and Blood, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully I can help you out here. If you're a long-standing member and you've been watching the channel for a while and you're entrenched in the game, I challenge you to take this video, not to promote the channel, but just to give it to a new player. If a new player is ever saying, hey, I want to buy an Katsu and I'm not sure what to buy, show them this video. Hopefully it's at least give them a good starting point. So we'll get right into it. So I have 3 decks total. First one I'm going to do is Katsu. I have a Dash deck, and then I have an Azalea deck, and I'm going to be making like a Uziri deck and things like that. And my goal with every deck is to stay under $100 max. Now, prices will fluctuate and things will change. So if you're watching this video like 6 months from now, maybe it'll be different. But at the time of making this video in May of 2023, this deck is about 70 to 80 bucks, depending on the day. It all depends. Like it was 70 when I made it like a week ago. Now it's 80. I think it's just like maybe one random card barely went over the amount. This number right here, basically, it will say 70 until it gets, like, if it's $79.99, it'll say 70, and then it reaches 80 when it gets to 80. So if it says 80 right here, it means it's between 80 and 90 bucks. And I built this deck to mimic the Bonds of Ancestry deck that's very popular. You see like Pro Tour winning, or not winning, but Pro Tour topping, like top 18 Katsu list from Tyler Broughton. It's very similar to his list, very similar to the Polish list without even bigger than that if you want to run those. And I'll kind of talk you through the deck, but also talk to you about which power pieces you need to buy first when it comes to this deck. So for the equipment piece, Breaking Scales, it's the equipment you're going to run most of the time anyway with Katsu, even in the main version. Kadachi's is the same. Heart and Cross Trap is really good. The cool thing about Katsu right now is with the Bonds of Ancestry build, if you run a more aggressive build, which a lot of Katsus are right now, you actually don't even need Tunic. Tunic is nice to have in those control matchups, but with Oldheim leaving the format, you can run Heart and Cross Trap on the main board, and the power of your deck will not go down at all. Being able to use that for your first Surging Strike to play it for free is very useful, and a lot of Katsus right now honestly aren't even running Tunic. They're running just Heart and Cross Trap. So Snapdragon Scalers, this is the first place I kind of went on a little budget. I personally run Breeze Rider Boots, but a lot of people run Snapdragon Scalers, and it's just fine. You can run that, and it's something that a lot of Katsus run anyway, Snapdragon Scalers, so it's not going to hurt you, but Breeze Rider Boots will be upgraded eventually. The biggest piece you're missing, as opposed to like a fully built version, is Mask of Momentum. Mask of Momentum runs right now about $80. I put in here Mask of Many Faces, as well as Mask of Pouncing Leaks in the sideboard. Those are like your secondary and tertiary mask. I really actually like Mask of Many Faces as a budget build, because you can name a card, right? Mask of Many Faces reads, destroy Mask of Many Faces for 1 resource, name a card, the next attack action card you play this turn gains that name. So if you say, let's say you have a Surging Strike in hand and you don't have Bonds of Ancestry and you don't have Descendant Gustwave. Let's say Surging Strike hits and you Katsu trigger to go get your Descendant Gustwave. Well, then you can pay 1 additional resource after you play Descendant Gustwave, play 1 additional resource and name that one Bonds of Ancestry, maybe so you then can play the Dishonor in your hand. It all depends. There's a bunch of different things you can do with it, but what this basically does, this card allows you to piece together chains that you couldn't normally do. Another example is, let's say you have Descendant Gustwave in hand, but you don't have Surging Strike. You can play a Be Like Water or play 100 Winds, but before you play it, you pay 1 resource and you name it Surging Strike. That way, Descendant Gustwave will see 100 Winds as Surging Strike and then come in 0 for 5, go again. So there's some cool things you can do with it. It helps you have a little bit more consistency to your deck, and it's really good until you can get your Mask of Momentum, which is obviously the premier piece. So as far as the core of the deck, it's literally the same deck as the actual fully built version. It really is. There is no differences. The only difference is Torn of Tempo isn't normally in the list. It's normally in Lightning Strike. And then Yeah, that's it. In the main board, this is literally the exact same list I run as a fully built Katsu deck, with the exception of Torrent the Tempo. Now, I replaced Enlightened Strike with Torrent Tempo. You could even put Snatch in this spot as well, since you're on a Snapdragon Scalers build. But once you buy this core of the deck, your most expensive pieces in this deck right now are Winds of Eternity, which is like $8 a piece or something like that. McGinty Release is like $4 or $5 a piece. And I think that's literally all the card. And then Dishonor is like $2 or $3 a piece, along with Lord of Winds, like $2 or $3 each. So a playset of Lord of Winds, like, I mean, we can look at the pricing here, right? The most expensive thing on the list is Ancestral Empowerment, is about $5 a piece, so it's $15 for a playset. Concealed Blade is about $5 a piece, about $10 for a playset, $9. And then Winds of Eternity is actually $8 a piece, which is $26 for a playset. So the core of the deck is $80, and literally not even $80, right? Like, because all the equipment piece is quite literally $1. Like your Blazing Yori breaking skills, your 2 Kodachis, your Heart and Cross Strap, your Mask of Many Faces, Mask of Pouncing Links, and all your Null Rune and your Snapdragon Scalers. Like, this is all your equipment right here. All this equipment literally equals up to about $5. So your equipment piece is super cheap. The only thing you have to buy is Mask of Momentum. And then honestly, Ancestral Empowerment and Winds of Eternity and what's the last card we said? Ancestral Empowerment, Winds of Eternity, and Dishonor and Concealed Blade make up about 26, 36 with these two, 46, 56, 59, about 60 out of 80 of your dollars, or 60 out of 75 of your dollars of the deck are going to like 4 different cards. So you could even make this even cheaper. Like, if you didn't want to run Ancestral Empowerment, although I'd suggest you do, it's a very good card, you could shave $15 off right here. You can make it even cheaper. But all that to say, this is the actual deck that a normal Katsu will run, with the exception of not having Enlightened Strikes. Enlightened Strikes are very expensive. They're like $35 a piece, $30 a piece. You're going to pay about $90 for a playset, but they are really nice. You don't have to have them to play Katsu until you go to like a Road to Nationals or ProQuest level. You don't even need them at an Armory level, technically. You really don't need them unless you want to start taking the game seriously as a Katsu player and you want a little bit more efficiency in your deck. But even in future sets, Enlightened Strike might not even be in the list eventually. So that's the biggest thing. In the sideboard, this is the exact same sideboard that I run in the regular list, with the exception of I added in 2 yellow Descendant Gust Waves and 1, what else? 1 more Null Rune piece, Null Rune Hood. So those 3 cards, that's normally Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer is very expensive. A play set of Command and Conquers, you're looking at about $270. It's a very good card. Again, it's not a card you need unless you're going to go to like a Road to Nationals or Calling level. If you're just doing Armories, even if you're just doing a ProQuest, you don't need Command and Conquer. But if you're going to take the game serious and you want to tech against this Ranger meta, Command and Conquer is really nice to have. Honestly, it's the first staple I would buy. But other than that, this is the sideboard that I had. The deck is no less powerful. The only difference is there's a couple of efficient tech pieces that you don't have. Really, the only main power piece you're missing that does make the deck functionally play different is Mask of Momentum. You have Mask of Many Faces instead. But the good thing about it, with this new Bonds of Ancestry line that you're getting with Katsu, because Bonds of Ancestry goes and gets a card anyway most of the time, you now have Katsu trigger and Bonds of Ancestry trigger. So that Mask of Momentum draw, while it is very important, you basically can go get 2 cards anyway on a good turn. So it's not as important as it used to be. It used to be Mask of Momentum used to be everything for Katsu. Now it's just like an added bonus more times than not. So hopefully this helps. Like I said, the deck itself is about $80. Definitely check it out. I think it's a great starting point. Your first buy that you'll buy to upgrade it is definitely Mask of Momentum. Go get that card. Like we just look at these cards, if you're a newer player, I just don't want to talk and you not know what I'm talking about. So this is the first card you'll buy, which is Mask of Momentum, which has a once per turn effect of when an attack action card you control hits 3rd or higher in the chain link, you draw a card. So it gives more card draw to Katsu, more chances to attack your opponent, and more flexibility. The next card you would probably buy, in my opinion, for this deck is Enlightened Strike, which just gives you a lot of flexibility. You either get to play a 0 for 5 go again, 0 for 5 draw a card, and then you can snap it, right? So, or you can do 0 for 7, obviously sinking a card on each one of those modes. So that's a good one. And then your final, like, really nice to have piece is Command and Conquer. Defense reactions can't be played on this chain link. If it hits a hero, you destroy their arsenal. It's really good against Ranger. It's arguably the most powerful single card in Flesh and Blood in a vacuum. When you're not talking about like synergies, just like the card itself, it's probably the most single powerful card. Yeah, so definitely check those out. I think it's really good starting point, and check this deck out. Let me know what you think of it. Like I said, this is literally 90% of the deck. The only thing this is missing from the real deck is Mask of Momentum, Command and Conquer, and Enlightened Strike. Other than that, it has everything else you need for the deck under $100. You could win an Armory with this. I will 100% say you could. You could win Armory with this. It'd be a little tough because Mask of Momentum does hurt you a little bit. You'd have to draw well, but you could definitely win Armory with this deck, in my opinion, depending on the meta. So let me know what you think. If you're a newer player, hopefully this helps. If you're a long-standing player, like I said, I challenge you to take this to a newer player, give them a good reference point so they can get into the game really well. And let me know what you think of it. If you like this type of content, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to join the Patreon down below, and I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.